Hi guys, this is Ashley back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on post notifications. Ckiminaj Pink Friday 2 has now sold over 500,000 units in 2024. It's the highest selling female rap album of the year and the sixth highest selling rap album overall. I'm like, damn, did Scarlett ever go gold or platinum? That's been out for months. But I'm honestly not really shocked. You know, the Barbs buy music, and unfortunately, the other girls, they just don't have the fan base for people to support their albums. But I don't think any female rapper has recently put out an album, except for Doja Cat. But Botch and Bitter hasn't. Scratch Off is flopping. She hasn't. Because most of them cannot sell an album. Okay, even Ice Spice. I don't think Ice Spice should be putting out an album right now. Her last song, Give Me the Light, flopped because she fell out with Ckiminaj. So I think she needs to go back to the drawing board. The only way it's going to sell if the chart obsessed racist, Doja Cat, or Billie Eilish is on the song. Now, moving on to Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion becomes the second female rapper in history to sell out Madison Square Garden in New York for the Hot Girl Summer Tour. Ckiminaj was the first female rapper to sell out Madison Square Garden. And it's clear as day, Devil Nation wants Megan to compete with Ckiminaj. That's why they're making this announcement. Because they want people to know that Megan Thee Stallion is just as successful as Ckiminaj. I think that Devil Nation is trying to copy the Ckiminaj formula. But here's my thing. Congratulations to Megan Thee Stallion selling out Madison Square Garden. But hopefully people buy the album. Okay, because one thing Megan Thee Stallion can't do that Ckiminaj has always been able to do is do 100,000 first week when it comes to album sales. You know, Megan Thee Stallion can't do over 100,000. Bad news, she did 100,000, when WAP and Savage came out, but when it comes to her other albums and mixtapes, she's not able to do that, okay? And she got 3 Grammys. So, it has to make sense moving forward. If you can sell out Madison Square Garden, I think that for your next album that you're putting out soon, don't matter if you're independent or not, you're under Devil Nation, you should do over 100,000 first week. That's just me though. Now, it has been reported that Flopchella is teasing Doja Cat possibly headlining Flopchella again in the future. If Doja Cat headlines Coachella again, because it would be her second time, she would be joining Radiohead, Bjork, as the only artist to headline Flopchella twice in history. Now, the Desert Sun has predicted 6 artists that possibly could headline Flopchella in 2025. Billie Eilish being the number 1 top contender. Queen Bee, for whatever reason. I mean, I like Queen Bee, but I don't think it's necessary for her to headline Flopchella again. Doja Cat is also another top contender because she did do such a fantastic job at the 2024 Flopchella. So it makes sense for her to headline again. And then also Bad Bunny, they said SZA. So let me know how y'all feel about that. I would be here for Doja Cat doing another Flopchella performance. It's Flopchella to me because the sales were low. The ticket sales were very low this year. Lana Del Rey was the only person that sold out, her date. But Doja Cat by far had the best performance. I watched, Doja Cat's performance, and I was extremely wowed by her star power and the fact that she's a phenomenal performer. And she got 5-star reviews on all of her Flopchella performances, so I do think it would be well-deserved. Moving on to Botch and Bitter. Botch and Bitter performed with Megan and Gorilla Glue at Madison Square Garden, where Megan Thee Stallion sold out, and announced the Wannabe remix. Now, Cardi B was bragging last week saying that this collaboration was going to be gag-worthy. How is this going to be gag-worthy? You already collaborated with these people before. The D0JA collaboration would have been gag-worthy that you got in the stash. Because even though the song might be mediocre, we don't know yet. She got the record in the stash. The visuals are going to be top-notch because they get a budget. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, this proves that they're not beefing. Well, like I've been saying, I felt like Megan Thee Stallion was taking shots at Nicki Minaj. I just talked about that yesterday. Y'all was thinking that she was taking shots at Botch and Bitter, and I felt like besides the veneer line in BOA, the majority of Megan's shots are at Nicki Minaj. I've been saying that. And some of them are at Erica Banks, but most of the shots she's directing at Nicki Minaj because Nicki Minaj put out Bigfoot, okay? She just won't at Nicki, but she'll throw subliminal shots. And I still don't think Botch and Bitter and Megan Thee Stallion mess with each other like that. I think they're using each other because Botch and Bitter hasn't had a hit all year. So she has to team up with the other girls to try to get a hit. She's trying to get another top 10, but even the last record she put out, I think it was Dr. Miami, that song really wasn't a hit record in my opinion. Like nobody's talking about that record. It just had payola. I think this is a chess move and Botch and Bitter is using Megan Thee Stallion, even though Megan Thee Stallion called her a dirty Mexican. But because she don't like Nicki Minaj, this is a chess move. Now, moving on from that, Apple put out the best 100 albums, I guess, of all time. Queen Bee was on the list twice with the Beyonce album at number 36 and also the Lemonade album at number 10. Okay, so let me know how y'all feel about that. They also had Lauryn Hill at number 1. I don't know how she was over Michael Jackson Thriller, though. I don't think that she should have been over MJ, but she definitely should have been on the list. They also had Missy, Super Duper Fly. They had Kung Fu Kenny at number 7 for Good Kid, Mad City. They also should have had Pimp a Butterfly on there, but they also had Champagne Thickums, Take Care at number 47. So let me know how y'all feel about the list. I agree with majority of the albums that were on the list. I feel like TLC and Aaliyah should have been on the list somewhere, okay? Because they both have, classic albums, R.I.P. Aaliyah and Left Eye. But, that should have been on the list somewhere. But majority of the list I do agree with. And I think that these albums were critically acclaimed. They're deemed as classics. Now, moving on to Scratch Off. Allegedly, Scratch Off wants to reach out to Ice Spice, especially since Ice Spice has fell out with Nicki Minaj. Okay? I guess she probably want to do a collaboration. They both can't chart. No shade organically. Scratch Off hasn't charted since what? The John Cook record? I think Mistress Service went to number 100 on the charts, but then it went bubbling under the week after that. But, Give Me the Light recently has flopped. So let me know if you guys think that a collaboration will make Ice Spice and Scratch Off chart together. Now, I don't know if the general public would care if Ice Spice and Scratch Off do a record, but it would generate shock value. You know what I'm saying? Like people might tune in just because they was beefing. It's the same thing that happened with Champagne Thickums and Meek Mill and, Megan and Botch and Bitter. Like Megan was first shading Botch and Bitter and then they did a collaboration and went number 1. So maybe it will be the shock value that can take them to the charts. So let me know how y'all feel about that. Now, moving on to Queen Bee, an insider has reported that Queen Bee's Cowboy Carter World Tour will begin in Melbourne, opening in the last week of October. Queen Bee is rumored to be bringing her Cowboy Carter World Tour to Australia in late October to perform at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Okay, so Queen B is going back on tour. Honestly, I'm here for it. The next time Queen B go on tour, I'm definitely going to see her. Because at the end of the day, Queen B is an icon. You know, some say she's the MJ of our generation. And I think it's important to see a phenomenal artist perform while they're still here. Okay, so that's why when it comes to performing, I always give Doja Cat and Queen B their flowers. Now, Bottom Nas X is receiving some backlash because he said he wished Queen Bee's and Shabuzi's country success would have happened for him when it came to Old Town Road. Okay? Let me know how y'all feel about that. Now, he since denied throwing any shade. He said, "You don't have to take me out of context and paint me as bitter Rolling Stone. I said I'm proud and happy for them, while I also wish I wasn't removed from the chart, especially now that country has more trap and rap influences than ever." Okay, so it seems to me as though he's trying to say that he kind of started the trap and country influence. Okay, that's what it's giving to me because, you know, why are you mentioning that now a lot of country music has a lot of trap and rap influences when that is not completely true? Okay, no shade. And then on top of that, no shade to Bottom Nas X, you didn't really put out a country album. You put out one or two country songs. Queen Bee put out mostly a country album. Of course, there were some rap and R&B influences, you know, in the album Cowboy Carter, but I would say 70 to 80% of the album was country. Okay? No shade to Bottom Nas X. When you put out Old Town Road in that EP, there is only one song that could pass for country, and that was Old Town Road. Okay? You might have had one other song, but other than that, you are a pop star. Let's be very clear. No shade. And you don't have a soulful voice. A lot of country artists, especially black country artists, like the Shabuzis and the Queen Bees and the Ckiminajs, they have a soulful voice. You don't have that. You have autotune. No shade. So that was stupid for you to say. No shade. And I don't really think that you really made much of an impact when it comes to country music. No shade, you didn't put out a country album. Maybe you should, and we'll see if you have the impact. But right now, you're currently flopping with Camilla the Racist. No shade. Now, moving on to Billie Eilish. The Hit Me Hard and Soft is aiming for a number 2 debut on the Billboard 200 album chart with 300,000 units. And unfortunately, the chart-obsessed racist has blocked Billie from the number 1 spot because she will be selling 350,000 first week with the Torturous Poets because she released new vinyls. And if you guys remember, Billie Eilish said that a lot of artists, well, not a lot, she was actually just throwing shade at the chart-obsessed racists for, you know, putting out vinyls for basically no reason, just for sales. Okay, so she had called out the chart-obsessed racists a few months ago. So I guess this is, you know, the chart-obsessed racists trying to play chess. But unfortunately, you know, this chess move is trash. And I'm going to have to give the chart-obsessed racist donkey of the day for this. You know, Hit Me Hard and Soft is a better album overall than the Torturous Poets. No shade. And that's why the reviews are better. The Torturous Poets got terrible reviews because the album was trash. Okay? Even just the first single, Lunch, is better than the chart-obsessed racist whole album. Lunch to me is a bop. I've been listening to that song since it came out. It's been on repeat. I'm like, I didn't know Billie was making bops like this. This song is fire. The chart-obsessed racists ain't got no bops on the Torturous Poets. Sorry. So, donkey of the day to the chart-obsessed racists. I cannot wait till she start to fall off. That's a day I will be celebrating. Now, we also gotta speak on Kelly Rowland getting butt with one of the security guards at Cannon's, okay? It looks like the security guard was possibly being rude to Sweet Kelly Rowland, and she turned around and told the butch heifer, don't talk to me that way. Okay? You don't talk to me that way. Okay? That's what it looks like from the videos. Now, some people were saying that allegedly the security guard was very racist to Kelly. And I feel like Kelly should use her connections, Queen Bee and Camel Face, to get the security guard fired. Can't be racist and rude to, the black artists and celebrities that go to the cannons. You can't do that. I think that if she was being racist, she definitely don't deserve to be no security guard. She need to go and fill out an application at McDonald's or Chipotle or something. But you can't be racist at the cannons, okay? They invited Kelly, and she may not be as big as Queen Bee or J-Lo, but you need to show some respect, okay? So I'm glad that Kelly put her in her place. Now, moving on to the king of rap, Kung Fu Kenny. Kung Fu Kenny now ranks among the top 10 artists on Payola by monthly listeners at 73.95 million. Okay? This is all fine and dandy, but Kung Fu Kenny, you gotta release an album. Okay? You gotta release an album. You need to go on tour. You need to capitalize off this beef. You're not really capitalizing off this beef enough. Not like us went number one. Where's the music video? Okay? This is an anthem of the summer. We need you to capitalize and put out an album, a tour. Because if Kung Fu Kenny go on tour, I'm going to be in the first row. Okay? Because I want to see him perform Not Like Us in Euphoria Live. So, I feel like you need to capitalize off this moment, because if the roles were reversed, if Champagne Thickums won this beef, which he did not, he would probably already have an EP out by now. You know how Champagne Thickums is, and he's very money and numbers hungry. Kung Fu Kenny is not like that. He cares about more of the artistry of the music, but you need to start playing chess and capitalize off the moment. But anyway, I'm going to end it here. I got some hot tea on what Diddy is planning to do. Link will be in description on Patreon, and have an amazing day.